Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 206 of Fans of Power. I'm Joe Amato, and I'm here with Nathan Kennedy. We had a little technical difficulties. It was not my fault this time, and not really Nathan's. Just something he was doing to tinker stuff. But
you just got to update some stuff every now and again and get everything working. So
exactly, he updated, I think, OBS or whatever. So it's cool, and I'm not going to be super animated, so I'm not going to hit this cord that's hanging right here. And in case you're wondering why I'm wearing the mask again, it's I tried to make a Moduloc mask, a new one, because you remember I had one that smelled like puke and stink bugs and everything else. I did this, and I don't know why my brain was not functioning. When I was cutting the eye holes, I was like cutting this one super high, and when I put up to my eyes, it went weird and low, and it's like, and then I didn't have my good rubber bands, because I usually have this one rubber band that's super long. I had to connect 5 of these, as you can see, with all these goofy knots together. And when I was putting it on, this part slipped out of the ear hole. I was like, oh no, I'm not going to risk this live and have it popping off on the show. So I'm wearing this again until next week when I make another Moduloc mask. So.
It looks even better from the back part of it, because when you showed it in the front, yeah, the eyes look uneven and everything, but you really see it when you turn it around.
Right, it's horrible looking. So there's that. Finally got my car back after almost over a week with that madness and everything, which just having that kind of stuff just messed up everything personal in my life I was doing. So now I got it back. Hopefully everything can get back on track. I can get things for other people and stuff. So apologize to people that if there were some delays on things, but hopefully things will be on track. And well, let me first say hello to everybody in the chat room. We have a couple random things. Of course, we'll be talking about anything you want later on for the show and getting all your questions and comments. But I will acknowledge Zentron, Rick Poe, Papa Hood 69, Michael Purvis. I'm still scrolling down. Febmon, DJ Tags, Hip Hop Radio. Who Dat Whale? And I think I got everybody. If I missed somebody, I apologize.
I was thinking maybe to make that easier, and I'm not going to have you do it now because you might accidentally hit something and disappear again. But I think if you can click on the 3 little dots, if you got that over in the corner where it says live chat or anything, and then just click on participants, that'll show you everyone that's in the chat room. I think if they're actually typing in there, that should show everybody, I think.
Oh, look at that. Okay, because if I missed Adam Gabbert, I don't know if he said something, but yeah, there's look at that. Okay, well, if that is something that works, I'll do that. I just click participants. And thanks for saying that, because now I want to click live chat, because I'm always having top chat, and I know it's behind.
Yes.
And everybody says go to live chat. So there. Well, I'm trying to think of anything recent before we get into a couple of topics, because I think before we get into discussing the comic, we'll, of course, talk about this possible other cartoon for Masters of the Universe.
Hey, that is not a possibility, sir. That is good to go. We have
images. I mean, it's good to go, but you know what I mean when we get to discussing that part. Right. But I think last week maybe, or just the week before, if people were still looking for the next wave of those Thundercats from Funko, those 5.5-inch style, those were released, so people can find them, where they had Cheetara, Tigra, Jackalman, and Vultureman? No, it wasn't Vultureman. Fuck, I don't know. They had 2 and 2.
It was Spider-Man.
No, God damn it, was it? Wait. I told you I was going to make a new rule. I'm not going to cuss the whole show. Right there. That's the last you're going to hear.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
it.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, that is. And also, let me say Happy Hanukkah to everybody, because today's the start of Hanukkah. And I know later in the week, it's going to be, of course, when we're not doing the show until next Sunday. So for later in the week when we miss, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa for people later in the week. Just wanted to get that out there. Just instead of saying Happy Holidays, I'm going to acknowledge the holidays that are going on.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it is fair. So, well, anything you have to say new before we get into some of this ranting and getting into other stuff?
No, not really. Looking forward to picking up that Wave 2 of the Thundercats Funko figures.
Jackalman! Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but Spider-Rat, thank you. You said it's Jackalman, so Jackalman.
Well, see, there you go. It was inspiration. I said Spider-Man, but we got Spider-Rat, and came through with the answer. No, I guess the only other thing I wanted to talk about.
And Monkey, right? Wait, Monkey and Jackalman, is that it? Are those the 2? I didn't mean to interrupt you again. I'm just trying to
honestly, I don't remember. I've only looked.
Yeah, I don't know. When my mind goes, it's gone. I couldn't even find it. But go ahead, back to you, Nathan.
No,
sorry.
I was gonna say that I got the email. We saw the poorly audioed video that Super 7 put out, and Brian was talking about, hey, this is when they're coming into our warehouse, this is when they're going to ship out. And I think a review was already trickled onto YouTube. I saw that you were tagged on that yesterday.
Some people got them.
Yeah, I need to check that out, and I guess from the looks of it, people are happy, or
They look good.
that
No, I mean,
individual was happy with them in hand.
yeah. No, the ones that they show from the movie, the movie figures. It didn't seem like it had a shiny plastic. I know sometimes that's a complaint about some of the other figures. They said this plastic looks real shiny, but I didn't think from that video I seen on YouTube, I didn't get that vibe. They look good. And, I didn't get that vibe. They did look good, but the Filmation line, the ones that came out that had was it Modulok, Stratos? I'm trying off the top of my head again. I didn't order them, so I don't know. But it was
Shadow Weaver.
Shadow Weaver. I don't know the goddamn people. But turn it. I cussed again. I broke it.
Just don't worry about the rule, Joe. Don't worry about it.
All right, I won't worry about the rule. But
fuck it. Like Mean Gene said when that SummerSlam sign fell down behind him during the interview. Just whatever.
Was that with the Ultimate Warrior one? Yeah.
No, it was with him and I want to say it was like Mr. Perfect or Rick Rude. I can't remember.
Well, I mean, in up to going to the Ultimate Warrior, because I think Rick Rude, that was going up to it. But yeah, it was Rick Rude, Bobby Heenan. But yeah, those figures, slight shine to them. And I don't know what's up with the Modulok extension piece for the two necks. Like when they showed the early prototype and they said it was like a placeholder, it just looked odd. I'm like, it looked like a blob of clay just sitting there on the neck. I was like, so I gave a reference photo from, believe it or not, one of the coloring books that had Modulok with the two heads on it. And you seen this nice streamlined design. I was like, that'd be a good one if that wasn't the final. The final piece came out and it still looks, God, it actually looks worse. And that's the only thing I've heard anybody complain about is that neck piece. But a lot of people did say, I don't care. I'm not going to use a neck piece. I'm either just going to have it with this head or that head. I'm not going to use the two heads. But
well, if you want Joe Amato to go ahead and modify your Modulok that when you get it in, make sure you hit him up. Link will be down below after the show because I can't, for some reason, it won't let me really input all of that in there.
Well, it'd be nice if I had a different neck. But either way, I haven't really seen complaints from the people that were doing the early reviews online, so they look pretty good. And hopefully, everybody gets them. They arrive safely, not cracked. And
I'm kind of nervous about it a little bit because you've heard some of the stories from other people. My only complaint from that announcement video is you could barely hear him. I had to crank up the volume.
I didn't see the video.
Just to hear him. I'm like, could it have killed you guys to put a microphone on him or have him sit closer? I don't know.
When did that come out? Because I honestly did not see that video.
I want to say it was earlier in the week. I don't know. My days have all blended together. You go work 6 days straight and then have a day off, work 6 more days straight, and then they're tacking on some more time each day, and you're just like, I got a good break coming up. Tomorrow's my last shift, and then I get Christmas through New Year's, so I'm looking forward to that. But and apologies to anybody tonight. My brain's just kind of fried.
Your brain, Jesus, like I said, all these figures I'm talking about, of course, like I said, I haven't bought any of them, so I only know half of the things coming out. It's like, that's great. At one time when I was able to buy the figures, I know every single thing that was coming, but it happens.
Yeah.
So, well, first, the thing we're going to discuss is, and it did kind of come out of nowhere, was that Netflix announced they're doing another He-Man cartoon.
Yeah.
And because they showed a logo, and it's not Masters of the Universe Revelations. It is He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Yes.
So, now, this is, of course, that's why I like getting your opinion as well, and this is where I would want to hear the chat room, because I'm curious what they would think about something, but it's always great to have He-Man come back, don't get me wrong, but the thought of 2, it's like, okay, is 1 going to be... Okay, well, first let me read the description of what we know so far for this new series. I mean, obviously, like I said, it's not Revelations, it's different, and I think they said it's going to be a CG type of cartoon. And even David Clark, I think he just footnoted everything really good and efficient for people to read and see. And it's going to be made by House of Cool, I guess somebody that did Troll Hunters series. Let me see. I'm trying to get the notes of the description. I want to get the description of it for you. Okay, it says, on the planet of Eternia, a young lost prince discovers the powers of Grayskull and transforms into He-Man, Master of the Universe. The classic battle between He-Man and evil Skeletor rages to new heights as both hero and villain forge new and mighty teams. A new generation of heroes fighting for the fate of all of us, or us all. In the end, who will become Master of the Universe. So, they showed like a blurred out image of He-Man. It's a weird. I mean, like they said, it's a computer style, kind of bulky, big, a little image of Skeletor. I don't know if that's going to be geared towards kids, and Kevin Smith's going to be geared towards adults. It's like, for me, I think it'd be great just to have a cartoon that is geared towards everybody. But I know some people say, well, it might not be edgy enough if it's for kids, or it might be too kiddie if it's going to be for adults. But do two cartoons in your mind, do you think that's good? Do you think it's bad? Do you think it confuses audiences or people who maybe didn't see others and heard something's bad and assumes it's the other? I mean, what do you think?
I think that you run the risk of having that oversaturation and confusion, because we have to think about this too. All right, the Origins line is going to be coming to shelves. Are they going to produce figures from this series and Revelations? Like, if all of that's going out at once, to me it seems like it might be too much, and that might burn a lot of people out. I mean, you go from not really having anything, period, to all of a sudden, I mean, look at it in the eyes of like a casual viewer, and then all of a sudden, here's just like, it's in your face. Like, if the movie were actually coming out soon as well, then I mean, think about that. 2 shows and a movie, it just seems a little too much to me.
Because, like, don't get me wrong, I love the thought of Masters coming back, and it would be cool if both of these are amazing. But I feel like, okay, what if, like, word of mouth? What if word of mouth did go around about one being bad? Like, I don't know the time frame of when both of these come out. I don't know if it's going to be the same year, but let's say, hypothetically, they came within, like, a 6-month window of each other. And let's say there was somebody new to think, hey, I heard He-Man's back. And they go to Netflix, and let's say they went to just one of them in particular. And in their opinion, it sucked. And let's say they started posting everywhere, and everybody's hearing, like, oh, man, that He-Man sucks. Like, oh, did you see this one? No, I don't want to watch it. It's like, no, there's another. Like, I wondered if it would give bad hype to the good one or vice versa. It would, yeah.
It very well could. And it's, I mean, we have the images on the screen right here. If this is kind of their idea of what they're going for, I see this more as geared towards kids. Whereas the one that Kevin Smith is attached to, more adult. So, but if this is geared towards kids, I don't want to say the magic words, but Thundercats Roar. What if this is like?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it'd be that level. Thundercats Roar looks.
I mean, based off of these images, this easily looks better than Thundercats Roar. But I'm saying, like, what if the intent of this is to kind of, well, we have a serious one right here, and then this one's just gonna gear towards the silly, go maybe the route of Teen Titans Go, which, when I watched it, I didn't have too much of a problem with it, but the people that were diehards from the original one didn't like Teen Titans Go, and then they also came out with a movie where both of those universes are together, and I don't know why all of a sudden people like this idea. I guess it's because Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was so successful, but what if this is also a way to where this ties into the She-Ra show? I don't know.
Why did you have to say that? I was off for everything else.
It can go a variety of ways, but based off it.
Well, this, like I said, you're right. Based off of the looks, I mean, it's a whole different looking tone. Yeah. Like, even if this is geared towards kids, I still hope they wouldn't insult the intelligence of kids, because you could say, like the one we watched back in the day. I mean, that from kids to adults, because I remember kids watching it, and when I was a kid, adults watching it, it seemed like anybody could enjoy it. Even though, yes, you could say that is geared towards kids, but it didn't, like, pander to where it treated us like we had no intelligence. Mm-hmm. It made us use our imaginations. It would be great if this new He-Man cartoon that comes out, I'd hope, could, treat kids with respect and, not just, like I said, treat them like they have no common sense and make everything too silly or everything a joke or just, weird sound effects that, like somebody passing gas or some nonsense. Like, as long as that's out of it, I guess it could be cool. But, I mean, the Kevin Smith one, I am very intrigued about. I'm hoping, please do some good justice to He-Man with that, hopefully. This one, if it can bring in the kids, and maybe the kids could go to Kevin Smith's too, it'd be great. It's just, you're right, sometimes it's scary when you think of, too much as well, too much. Yeah. But I hope that's not the case. And I hope there's a good window of separation between these cartoons, because, I mean, hell, with no movie happening, which, remember, guys, it's supposed to be March of 2021. This thing was supposed to be shooting back in June or July. Nothing, you've heard nothing. I think the movie pretty much is, again, it's back into the water, dead in the water as it's been for 17 years of rumors. So, But like you said, what if one of these was popular and held, just like how you said with sometimes when they take an animated thing and take that to the theater? I mean, maybe it could lead to a He-Man movie. Yeah, going to the. I don't know.
And it seems like this also opens up the possibility that the movie itself might not even make it to theaters. Maybe that will also just be a Netflix thing, which had been rumored.
Well, didn't they even say that at one point?
Yeah, so that I would still put that in the realm of possibility. There is one thing in the chat room that I did want to point out because it does lend itself pretty well to this conversation. Star Wars had multiple animated shows at the same time, and it was fine. But to me, that seems different because Star Wars is a well-established property that's been going on for almost 40 years and has stayed consistently like in the limelight. To most casual viewers, when people think He-Man, they're still thinking like, yeah, I remember that from 1985. They don't remember the 2000X cartoon. They don't know that the classics are out. Like, I can go to Walmart right now. There's Star Wars shit all over the place. So there is a bit of a difference there. And I think with this, how the property itself has struggled to reach that same level of relevance that it had in the mid 80s, I don't think it's a good idea to put two shows out at the same time. I think that you're really just going to confuse everybody at the end of the day.
I mean, again, I can kind of see what they're trying. I just wish there would be a bigger gap because I would like to think they could focus all their efforts, even though it's two different, people and companies and everything doing these cartoons. Yes, they're both on Netflix, but I'd like to see a lot of energy devoted to one thing. Make that so damn hot, and hopefully everybody would love it. Yeah. Then it's like, all right, now here's one that's a little kiddier.
Right. This would be a good idea if the Kevin Smith show is very successful. This would be like, all right, well, we're going to do this and take that same formula that has worked for like your Star Wars, your Ninja Turtles, Transformers over the years. Like, yeah, have new shows and different interpretations, but only do that if what comes before it is successful. I feel like this is it's a risky move.
You just don't want bad it's risky because like I said, you just don't want bad press because if bad press is created for one of them when both might be out at the same time, then it's going to create bad press for both because some people might not know the separation who might be, like you said, a casual fan who is now just coming back to He-Man. They might hear, oh, the show sucks, they don't want to tune in Netflix, not knowing there might be one show on there that's amazing. I mean, again, it'd be great if both of these succeed. But again, like I said, these are all theories and stuff we're saying. It's not like we're expecting doom for everything because there might be a year gap. We don't know. There could be a good gap between these cartoons.
Both shows could turn out to be like incredible. And we're back into, He-Man, Motu being out there in the limelight again.
I almost dropped an F, but I didn't. I was ready to say it, but I didn't because I hate hearing that out loud, MOTU. Yep. And speaking of, I seen some in the chat room, but just now we will acknowledge because I wanted to hear what people thought about the cartoon. Spider Rat said, I'm cool with two shows. He said, one's for us old farts. The other is for kids. We need kids to get into Masters of the Universe if we want the property to continue. Do you notice how I said that? Because I wasn't going to say that other thing. Fetmont said two cartoons is awesome as long as it's not She-Ra. I cleaned that up. DJ Tag says the sword looks bad. He's not into seeing that sword that He-Man's holding in that one image.
I mean, I don't understand where they're trying to go, like, design-wise here. It seems like everyone's just... It's kind of got, like, a Samurai Jack on steroids sort of look to it.
I think somebody... Now, you can't really see it too well from this, but I thought somewhere online I seen somebody do it to where... Just like Grimbot did, where he took that image of Skeletor, somehow with lighting, made it to where you've seen all the face of Skeletor. Somebody did the thing with He-Man, and you could see more of his emblem. And the sword is doing that circuitry where MYP's sword has the circuitry. And, of course, they did that with Netflix She-Ra circuitry. So that thing down the middle, I don't know if that's a separation or a thing of light. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's supposed to be a split. But, I mean, again, like I said, it will be different to see what happens there. But
it's definitely exciting that you go from there hasn't been an animated show in almost 20 years, and now you're getting two. So it's a good time to be a fan, but at the same time, like I get the vibe that it's kind of eggshells. I know if Tyler were here right now, he'd just be like, nah. Well, there that is.
People like both the cartoons, they look like shit. See, I can say that on behalf of Tyler. I can say that. So, see, I didn't cuss. That was Tyler that cussed.
I'm curious how.
Portman said.
I'm curious how
I was
Kevin
say, the more the
Smith's
merrier.
version, like how the characters are going to look on that. I wish that there would have been a teaser like we had with this. At least we have images.
Isn't it weird? I mean, we get a tease of this. We get nothing from Revelations except like that Castle Grayskull, which that made it look menacing.
I'm
you
kind
know,
of getting the vibe. I'm kind of getting the vibe that this was already being like worked on well before Revelations even became a thing to be announced.
You know, maybe we don't know. Like I said, I guess you don't know the rumblings, but JSP and Von Ratliff also joined us in the chat room. Thank you for both coming in. Well, I guess now we will switch to. We're going to switch to the issue 2 of Masters of the Multiverse. So this is very spoiler heavy if you haven't, read it or anything, but you're going to read and hear it now.
Spoilers. If you haven't read that book,
and after this,
go read the book, stop this video, and then come back and check it out.
Yes. And after this, then we can get back to the chat room if you have any questions or anything you want to say to us. But we remember how issue 1 left off to where, bam, movie He-Man and the godforsaken Tapper's He-Man, like bam, appeared. And
Mega
of course, the new event.
He-Man.
Yes. Again, some people don't even know. They were thinking Mega Constructs. They're like, is that a
loyal subjects He-Man?
Pretty much. Why did he have to continue? I was praying, like, kill this.
Yeah.
Kill him off.
Just because we're gonna go through the entire comic. You'll see all the panels. So once again, I want to stress, spoiler heavy. Go read the book yourself if you want before we dive into this. I was kind of bored with it. I'm like,
okay, yeah, because I was trying to give it credit. Like this time I was like, okay, let's see where they kind of go, but not really much happening. I mean, the action, like, I'm not seeing the heroes doing. I was like, I want to see a lot of action, like you do when you were watching any of the cartoons back in the day. Of course, you're going to see some death later, but I was like, but still, it's like the build-up and the pacing on this was off to me. It was really slow.
And I need to actually have maybe I can kind of see it from this, but we'll go ahead and dive into the.
Can you blur, superimpose anything just in case?
No,
like you said,
it's fine. It'll be fine, Joe. If they want to take us down, bring it. It's fine.
It's not like we're reaching 10 million people like all these other YouTube channels. Like, who are these little shits over here?
Fine.
But
totally fine.
Okay, well there you see it start off with we got the battle going on, and yes, we see new adventures. He-Man, and we see Morrow, we see Keldor, but again, it's just a lot of kind of just slow, boring talking. And again, with having the Tapper's Grayskull He-Man, it's like, it looks like dynamic, right? When you see the first page, like, oh, right, we're going to be getting into some business here. But wait till you start getting the next page. Like I said, I don't even have much to say about these 2 pages because it just ain't much to say.
We'll go ahead and move on. And we're still getting some more of the story stuff. Keldor's like, oh, and this is what this bit of dialogue here at the bottom of this panel where he says, but I've only ever used this stuff for pranks, so don't be surprised if all you get is a fart sound and a puff of confetti. And I'm like, did someone listen to this show? Because I feel like Tyler said that once.
Not only you, but I mean a lot of people, including I think Grimbot, made a fake image where there was a fart joke about issue 1, and I thought it was real. I was like, oh my god, don't tell me they're going to do a fart joke, but I guess it was Grimbot just screwing around with me. And then bam, here comes issue 2, and they do a fart joke. It's like, but then you're seeing here, it's like they had to put that little spot with Tapper's Grayskull again, like, hey, and here's some bonus stuff, and doing his coins, like, it's not necessary. The humor of this character, and he's forgettable. Every time you see him, it's like, what's the sense of even having him? You could have had a better He-Man, or hell, just keep him out and just have movie He-Man doing the dialogue with, Keldor the whole time. I feel like he's just so forced. He's not needed in this comic. And when he's there, it's for what? What did you get out of these 2 pages? Anything else out of it?
I mean, the fart joke bothered me. I'm like, why not just, if we're going to have movie He-Man here, you shouldn't have killed off Gwildor and just had Gwildor with him to be like the comic relief, because at least then, I don't know. It's, I've said it before and I've said it again. I think maybe had this come out in a universe where Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse didn't exist, this would seem fresh and new, but to me this just seems like a a variation of that, and I'm just like,
And you wanted me to tell you one other thing that annoyed me about these pages, and it's on the page where Mara's talking there with New Adventures of He-Man. When he's saying, hush, Sebrian's rules are for little boys like Kaz and Prince Adam. Yeah. I just have to say something. The reason I have to say this is, okay, were you guys doing some more good YouTube or Google searches on things? Because there's some things they knew about New Adventures, but they didn't know that. And I think everybody might know what I'm going to say. He's not Prince Adam in New Adventures. He is Adam. He is Sebrian's. Remember, as his identity, he's like, how can I keep my secret? And Sebrian said, you will be my nephew, a merchant. So he is a merchant, and he's Sebrian's nephew. That's his secret identity. He is not Prince Adam in the New Adventures of He-Man. So right there, it's like showed, you guys really don't know that cartoon and that property too well if you're calling him Prince Adam, because Mara would not call Adam Prince Adam. And so had to do that. That's my nerd thing. Had
once
to do
again, the guys, you don't even have to pay him. Just give Joe or Tyler or E-Talk. Well, you might want to pay E-Talk because he is...
yeah, pay E-Talk. Me and Tyler do this shit for free.
E-Talk is as seen on TV. He's been on plenty of things, so you'd have to just pay him based off of face value alone. But consult these guys, and you won't have scenarios like that.
Little things like this get that really. I mean, for some they might have missed it. And there's very hardcore, I mean, you might not think it, but there's some very hardcore New Adventures of He-Man fans. I know that, they might not be as vocal, but that annoys the piss out of them. I mean, when I see stuff like that, even though New Adventures of He-Man might not be my favorite of all the properties, that is annoying to see that because it shows there was no research.
Well, I think my favorite part of New Adventures is honestly just the looks of the characters. I have plenty of them in the classics line sitting on the shelf. It helps that they're very cheap because people don't like New Adventures, and I get why they don't enjoy the animated show, but I think it was a good direction to take, but just still a misstep either way. I do actually like the fact that Flog is like, I've had enough of Skeletor. We're with you on this one. I thought that was fine. I didn't really...
Yeah, he's always had an issue with him, but yeah, I got you. Yeah.
And then... I don't know, man. I by this point I just wasn't feeling it. I'm like, it's just kind of here. It's boring. Keldor's like using the magic and felt like a little sting going through him, and he's like, yeah, that's why I don't do it. This is painful.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because that first one with that little thing there, I was like, well, they're trying to do a little homage to Scareglow, but I was like, no, I guess you're right. That's just what's happened when he does his magic. But then things came quick with Skeletor popping up.
Which I love this design. I like New Adventures Skeletor's design.
No, I do. I like him. And at least they make him intimidating. See, that's the thing. I like the look of him here. Like I said, in the cartoon, I didn't flip too much over him because he went through, at least facially, about 3 different types of designs in the face. And his body got different designs in the cartoon as well. And in the mini comics was more menacing. So I'm glad they chose this look. Of course, they're probably trying to... I'm sure they based this probably more on the figure, if anything. I think that they used some of the classics figures as inspiration, but... He does look pretty wicked, and you're not getting any jokes for him, so it seems like, okay, that could be an intimidating Skeletor. At least they're trying something here.
Yeah, and then when we go to the next couple pages, like, he's going to take a swing at movie He-Man here, and then, we got Mega Constructs just kind of standing there, flexing.
Or loyal subjects. I mean, where some people in the chat room are saying, because that's what you get. And then you got the ship. It's just getting out of control. It's like, okay, there's something going on, and obviously that's when we're going to find out about Anti-Eternia He-Man going to the center of Starship Eternia to get the power of Grayskull. Remember, that's what he's wanting to do in every one of these issues. Every time he gets it, he becomes stronger, has to kill off a He-Man, and probably, if he can, kill off a Skeletor if he's in the way. But when they're saying, now in Filmation, we've seen He-Man where he could breathe in space, because I know there's like, hey, we got to get outside the ship. You and the little shit He-Man, you guys got to stop the ship from crashing into the dome or something of Primus or... I'll let it go back to you. You see him ripping all the shit, all the cables here. He's going to try to go for the power. Here comes He-Man coming to Anti-Eternia He-Man.
And this is one of the other problems I have so far, is anytime someone's going after Anti-Eternia He-Man, you get this one shot, and then as we go through, you just see the aftermath, and there's nothing else. I would like to have seen...
I'm glad you said it.
I would like to have seen just at least more effort, because if you think about it, despite what they're trying to do with the story, like, He-Man is the most powerful warrior in the universe, right? So he should at least put up a fight, but they've made each one of them look like nothing, and I guess maybe that's the point, to show how strong he is, but I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I understand what you mean, and you're right. That is the thing. Remember, we tuned into the cartoons or read the comics back then. You like to see the hero engaged in a lot of battle, doing a lot of things. And like you said, all you see is him jumping, the striking into Anti-Attorney He-Man's sword, and that's pretty much it. Just like the first issue. Remember when you were pissed not seeing Skeletor get killed. Like you said, you seen him at the beginning, boom, then he's dead. You would have liked to seen something, but you're right. I mean, I know you're trying to advance the story, which is good, but maybe with taking out some of the silly crap or the other stuff, we could have got panels where there's more action, them fighting some more. And then you have the little dialogue with Skeletor and Keldor, and Skeletor knowing who he is and absorbing some of his power. And it was kind of freaky having his Darth Vader moment, I guess.
I mean, this panel here on the next screen is kind of cool, where the helmet comes off and everything. He sort of tricks him to take a little more of his life to help power him back up. But then, hey, speaking of silly shit, here we go. Here's Mega Construx and Movie He-Man floating out in space. Down below, holding their breath. What the fuck?
God, they should have had somebody else. Like I said, hey, if anything, Filmation He-Man could have been there from the beginning with Movie He-Man. Hopefully they survived the whole time, because we've seen, again, Filmation He-Man breathing in space, so we know he can do it. But yeah, you're right, they're holding their breath. We got the silly one. I hate seeing this character. It takes me out of the comic. Anytime you think you're almost in it, like seeing the page here with Skeletor and everything going on, absorbing some of the power of Keldor, you're kind of maybe thinking, okay, this, it's not that bad. Maybe you want to be a little involved. They're trying to be serious. And you go from serious to that crap.
Yeah.
And big thumbs up from him. I get annoyed seeing him every time.
I understand why it's being implemented, because that sort of is the popular thing. This is what the Marvel films have done. It's what we saw in Spider-Verse with Spider-Ham. It's a good way, at least in those mediums, to sort of break up the seriousness of what's going on, or at least in a way that appeals to everybody. Maybe it's not necessarily good in most cases, but it reaches out to a lot of people. And here it's lost on me. But I'll go ahead and go to the next thing. We're down on the planet here. The ship's going to be crashing in. And then on the next panel, boom, there it is. That's what I hate about it, is just there's the sword through his chest. It is done. Like, give me something to show that he put up a fight. Otherwise, all I'm seeing is he dove at him and he just stuck his sword out and stabbed him, basically.
And I think they're almost, in a way, for me, they're going to, of course, it seems like they're keeping Movie He-Man, surprisingly, because I feel like they're just wanting to kill off ones that maybe they don't think are too popular. Fans like, nobody's going to care about New Adventures He-Man, but we all care about the Tappers of Grayskull He-Man. But, Movie He-Man, I'm surprised he didn't get killed off. But I know they're probably using him because this is the thing, the vibe, at least I got from it so far, is obviously Anti-Attorney He-Man, he's going for the source of Grayskull every time and everywhere he's going. And I'll be honest, with the first comic I read, I couldn't even remember what he did to Movie He-Man's world. But Movie He-Man, maybe it's different because, yes, while he has the power, he's not transforming into He-Man. He's always He-Man. And remember, at the end of the movie, of course, he grabs sword. I have the power to give him a little extra strength or something. But he's always just He-Man. So he's not really having the power of Grayskull flowing through him constantly. So maybe that's why they're...
Sorry to chuckle, but it just sounded like you said the power of Gayskull. I don't...
Well, I meant Grayskull. Well, it's like, you know what I mean? So with that maybe not being flowing through him all the time, maybe that's why he's able, of course, with the Cosmic Key to keep going through all these dimensions and not really be that much of a threat. But also that's how he can keep being used. And unlike all the others are tracked because they know, that's a power of Grayskull. That's a power of Grayskull, and I'm going to get every one of them. But yeah, he wipes out New Adventures He-Man, which I don't flip all over all the deaths.
Yeah, and, we have that nice little shot here at the bottom where Skeletor is just kind of standing there ready to fight, and then, boom, here we are. You get, oh, no, grabbed by the neck, snap, done.
Yeah, they're making him so imposing and super powerful. That's why I'm wondering, what is it going to build up to? Even if it's something I'm not really flipping over. And again, if people are loving it, that's great. I hope they do love this comic, but I'm hoping this builds to something amazing where they're going to have a good amount of He-Mans beat the hell and kill Anti-Attorney He-Man, or one major one, because they're obviously building up for something. I just hope it pays off in the end and isn't just left like...
Yeah, I hope for the same thing, because I just don't like how you're not even attempting to show that a fight is being had here. He's just
Yeah, that's what we need.
he's
You're right.
just
We need to see more of
steamrolling
the
over
fight.
everybody. So I'm hoping whoever
I mean,
they're building
like I
up
said,
to take him out, it better be like cool or important.
it better be
Yeah.
good. It better be good. I mean, like again, it does at least hold your attention for a good amount of the pages, not all of them. I'm not saying the whole thing is garbage. There's just some things I'm not feeling or flipping over. But of course, because you see like the break in kind of Keldor's character here now, when now he's holding that staff that Skeletor had, and now he's kind of pissed at He-Man. He's saying, "Damn you, He-Man!" And I don't think he's really thinking about Anti-Attorney He-Man. Maybe now he's starting to get a little angry, but they're going to try to still at least kind of keep him calm. So I'll wait till we get to the next page.
So here we go on our last little bit. Everyone's standing over New Adventures, and then where are they going next? Oh yeah, they're going to Disco Town because Disco Skeletor's here.
Why? I mean, the thing is, I'm excited because I was like, oh man, okay, they're going to go to NYP. We're going to have that. That's awesome. I was like, did you just put Disco? Do they? Okay, cool figure. For some people even hate the damn figure. It was just a color variant. Did you really put him in the Disco Skeletor color? It's like, okay, but He-Man's, he's been rotting in hell for over years, so maybe he's a prisoner, and maybe now Skeletor's a Skeletor.
Here's what happened, man. They killed He-Man in this world, and Skeletor's like, you know what? Time to party. And then the music just starts.
Time to party. Put the
Disco Skeletor, baby.
I'm surprised it didn't start. Why didn't it start like that with the disco ball going and everything and dancing and celebrating? But yeah, that I was like, all right, how are they going to disrespect MYP now? Because MYP, I mean, that was a badass cartoon that had some good shit in it. So what are they going to? But they had to do that. Yeah. That was idiotic to me. It should have just been MYP Skeletor as we've seen him in the cartoon. That's it. You didn't have to disco him up. So I'm sure in the next issue they'll explain maybe why he's got the dumb outfit. Maybe they won't.
they probably won't. Someone had asked. It's going to be what, 6 issues?
6 issues, yeah.
So, got 4 more. See how that goes.
Yeah, if I'm out that I'm tripping over my tongue, you're right, I was, because I get flustered with this type of stuff. I want things to be good. Like I said, this is the first of their comics in years I've read, and I'm trying to give a chance to. Like I said, parts, but when some of the crap outweighs the good stuff, it just annoys the heck out of me. I want this to be, I want it to be great. I want it to be an amazing comic. I want to get excited every month to go and get this, but when they do this stuff, it just annoys me more. It's like, get that damn Tappers out of there, let go of the silliness, and let's try to have some more, like you said, action. Let them actually be in battles. I mean, like Tyler and I, we love...
I know who's going to stop Anti-Attorney He-Man. Wonder Bread He-Man.
Nathan, now see, the thing is, I hope they have all this crap already written out, because if they don't and they heard you and they're like, hey, it'll be funny, and it's like, where did he come from? I don't know. He's a mystery.
I'm just here.
Just here. But picture that, Nathan. Picture it. It's a mystery. Like, where did this guy come from? We don't know, because remember, we don't know where Wonder Bread.
Yeah, see?
Oh, Christ Almighty!
I did it.
But
hand me the pen. I'm ready to go.
You wrecked it all even more. But no, that's what I mean. When me and Tyler love always talking about Clash of Arms, it's because how we said Larry Houston could tell a story, and most really great artists can tell a story without even words. And you can look at that comic and not only feel and know what's going on, but all the battles and action, it was like nonstop at some point. It was great, and you just were into it. And you could just feel the emotion in just each panel, a hit, a punch, a throw, a just slam. And didn't get in there. It's like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, it was almost like the first issue rehashed in a way, more or less. It just like stuff happened, but it was just boring. I don't know.
Yeah, we can still give our thoughts, and like I said in the chat room, if I don't know if you guys, like I said, you want to give your thoughts on it, but you can let us know what you thought, even if this is your first time seeing or hearing about it, or if you bought the comic too. Just let us know. I'm curious to think. Did you flip over it? Was it fantastic? Did you think, it was just okay? I always like hearing what everybody else has to.
Maybe that's what the new series will be. That's just like Tapper's He-Man, and it'll be goofy and funny like that. Huh.
You know, change this to get me upset, like saying MOTU out loud.
Joe, hey, if you're gonna say it, you need Motu, man. You don't need to spell it out, Motu.
I am not saying it out loud.
Motu on the FOP, everybody. Episode 206.
I'm the FOP. What a prick. Spider Rat said, Money Supermarket He-Man defeats Anti-Attorney He-Man in a dance-off because nobody put Skeletor in the corner. Oh, I like that. That's pretty good. Yeah, because that damn commercial.
Man.
Oh, could you, Matt? Oh, I'm hating this because I'm picturing what if they are thinking this. What if they think these were things people were cracking up and loving in pop culture? I mean, since Tappers made it, let's go to these commercials. And another thing, Spider Atlas, hope that don't happen just like Nathan's thing doesn't happen with Wonder Bread. But if you guys did have any questions you want to ask us, this is the time, from this to Masters of the Universe, any other properties, wherever you want, hit it in the chat room, and I'll pass it to you, Nathan, if you had something.
You down with FOP? Yeah, you know me.
He said he was going to do this. He said he's going to annoy me with the MOTU saying that.
Forever and always. Now I know that bothers you. I have to do it. Wait until I do the intro next time.
See, the He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special. See, even back then, that's what they said. The He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special. It could have been the Masters of the Universe and Princess of Power, but maybe that was too much on the tongues. But like I said, when we were growing up, we always said I like to play He-Man and She-Ra. I watch He-Man and She-Ra. We never said MOTU or POP out loud. Let me hit the chat room. Adam said, Nathan probably forgot to mention he got the Wonder Woman stickers he got from me last. You got Wonder Woman stickers from us?
Where'd they go? I'm gonna pull an Amato. They're over here somewhere. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Show those off. Yeah, because you got the Rubik's Cube. I got the Wonder Woman, which, oddly enough, I never noticed, but like if you kind of do that, it looks like WWF right there in a way. Huh. Interesting. Which, also, when you take that out of the way, that looks like the WWE's new logo. Just put the little swoosh underneath. Huh.
A lot of theory going on.
When they were redesigning it, the person that was put in charge just saw this logo and was like, well, that's it. And then Vince is like, oh, I love it. Put it on everything. That's good shit. Huh.
Oh, God. Let's see. Fedmon mentioned, there was a robot chicken He-Man. Wouldn't be surprised if he popped up, too. Sportimus said, how involved is Mattel with these cartoons?
Well, we'll go here. Like, their logo is on the poster, so I guess they would have to be involved.
Yeah, and I think even heavily. You remember Mattel, didn't they have at their booth, like when they were talking about the Kevin Smith one, they mentioned stuff. I mean, you're right. I'm sure they're involved. I don't know how much they're involved with all the stories that's happening or changes. I have absolutely no clue, but hopefully they have some kind of good say to make sure that their characters will be treated, with respect. Hopefully, I'm not sure, but it would be nice. Spider Rat said, you know what I wish they'd do on Netflix? A Powers of Grayskull show. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Yeah, it'd be nice to see something like that. We never got our mini comics back then, Powers of Grayskull. We were waiting for that with Hero and Eldor.
Oh, it turns out next week Netflix announces a third Motu show.
Here's another. They're coming one after another. Zentron said, did you see the finale of Netflix She-Ra, and what did you think of it? No, Zentron, I stopped at episode 4. I couldn't do it no more. I couldn't.
I thought you were actually gonna watch every single episode,
nope.
Joe.
No, I said that was I couldn't do it. I did all of season 1 and 2, but came to 3. Was it 3? I don't even know what the fuck this last one was, but I went to 4 episodes. I was like, I just can't do it no more. And I remember because even Tyler would always say, Joe, why are you enduring and putting yourself through all this crap of watching that? But, I just couldn't do it. I stopped. So, I didn't know anything. Von Ratliff said maybe they all buy a Honda and everyone is happy. It might have been something from way back we're talking because I know our chat room is behind, or at least me with a little bit of
yeah, you're on top of it.
Sportimus said, question, what if one of the new cartoons was similar in humor to the old Filmation Masters of the Universe cartoon?
Motu-tune, Joe. Get it right.
No, I said Masters of the Universe cartoon, though not as campy. How would you feel? Well, it's the thing. What's weird is, when you really do look back at the original Filmation cartoon, especially season 1, it never really felt campy. I mean, yes, I know that when the parents groups got involved, especially going into season 2, it got, yes, you could say a little more silly and funny, but if they just kept the tone of how season 1 started off with, that was perfect. So, I would be all behind that. It'd be great. So, I don't know how much you remembered, Nathan, about the stuff, but I'd like a good, serious Filmation-looking cartoon like how it was.
That's the way I kind of want most of my stuff like I want there to be dashes of humor in it, but I also want it to be sort of like clever humor, if that makes any sense at all.
Not force,
Yeah.
yeah, because sometimes force
Yeah,
humor is
once you're kind of forcing it, and you kind of seen the evolution, I would go back to it with the Marvel movies. Like, yeah, it would have the comedy in there in those first little bits, but it was like chuckle funny. Ha ha ha. Now it's like, oh, well, we see what works, and it's almost like every other scene is just joke, 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 joke. And I'm channeling Tyler right now. You're just going to see me like sit back in the seat and like do this. And then I'm going to be like, let me tell you something, peoples. And then go into
No, but I mean, when you have way too much of it, like I said, it becomes annoying. Little bits of it is fine, but when you're just trying, like every scene, hey, let's do it. It's like, no, that's not needed.
It's like...
So, it waters it down.
Yeah, once you keep doing it, it's like, character-wise, it starts to take out some of their badass qualities that you're wanting them to convey. If that makes any sense. It's like, He-Man's not going to run around just joke constantly. Here's a bunch of one-liners, because to me that seems like that takes away how you're wanting to present the character as being like this.
Yeah, it's like a
strong,
hero that
heroic,
you take serious. Yeah, like you said, you don't want to feel too buddy, like, funny. You want to feel like this is somebody you look up to, the hero that comes to save the day. And yes, like you said, a little thing here and there, I understand. But when it's constant, it's like then you start looking at him like he's a goof, and you don't want to do that.
But, I mean, there's also a place for characters like that, and there's a way that you can ride that line, like with Spider-Man. Spider-Man has plenty of one-liners and jokes, even when he's fighting his enemies. But at the end of the day, like, he knows when to be serious.
And that's why, in like somebody like Orko, if that is when you want to have the slight comic relief of him to do something, yes, all right, then, I get it. And to still have Orko doing some shit, too, because he's a powerful magician, so, don't treat him like a pile of crap either. But, yeah, that's why Orko could be there. He's the one to do the little jokes, not He-Man. But, all right, JSP said, with He-Man and She-Ra, Brave Star, and G.I. Joe having Christmas episodes, specials, I'm sure there are others. He says, what other 80s tunes would you want to see have Christmas episode specials?
I almost feel like most of them did. I feel like most TV shows, whether animated or live action, always have a holiday episode. So...
I'm just sitting here trying to think of the other things I watched, because remember, I didn't watch G.I. Joe.
Yeah. Tell them why.
Because I hated everybody saying at school, Yo Joe, every damn day. I was like, I don't want to watch this fucking cartoon. I hated G.I. Joe. See, I know it could be a joke with kids, but when you're growing up with it, it'll piss you off. And now I can understand, jokes. But as a kid, when you're hearing it every day, it'll drive you insane. I was like, I never want to watch this cartoon. I don't want no toys. I don't want nothing. So I've never watched G.I. Joe ever. Never owned a figure and had no desire. And it's like insane because everybody, of course I know people love G.I. Joe for the toys and the cartoon, and that's great, but I should probably give it a chance. I'm sure it's a good cartoon.
G.I. Joe's fantastic. It's been popped up in the chat that Transformers didn't, so yeah, I guess that would be my answer, because I feel like everything else did, because most shows do.
See, and it worked well, I guess, with Masters of the Universe. The only reason it kind of worked is, knowing, because they had to put that element in there, of course, about Queen Marlena mentioning about Christmas at the beginning, and it was an Earth holiday, blah, 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 and then they brought it into it. But otherwise, the fantasy cartoons, I would never really feel like, I don't want this in fantasy. Earth-based cartoons, it's like, okay, I can understand that. Do the little Christmas special. But, I guess I couldn't think, because I was sitting there trying to think in my head. I was like, I don't know if Dungeons & Dragons had one like that. I know that they're from Earth, but I was like, did they do anything when they went into the other world? I actually couldn't remember. That's bad. I'm going to have to go back and watch them. But thanks for the JSP. It's just, I guess I wouldn't want half the fantasy cartoons to have them. But any Earth ones, it's probably what, like Nathan said, most of them had them, I guess, already. Maybe.
Yeah, I feel like they did. I'm sure there's some that have passed through that didn't have long runs that probably didn't. But I feel like if you're a long-running show, at some point you're going to get a Christmas episode. That's just... To me, it's almost like I don't want to say lazy, but you know what I mean. It's like, let's just do a Christmas episode.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes they have to do it. They know it's like a little heartstrings. They figured, hey, people like Christmas, they like cartoons, put them together. Like Garfield, you got to have that. I couldn't remember if Alf did, and I love that cartoon Alf. That had a funky beginning. I love the music on Alf. I don't know if you remember the Alf cartoon. That was a jam. It really was.
I don't remember.
You have to go back and
I
do
don't
it.
remember if I watched the Alf cartoon, but I definitely remember watching the TV show a little bit and then going to Burger King when they had the little Alf plushes. I think I had the one with the Hawaiian shirt. I think there were only four of them. I may have had two. One with the Hawaiian shirt and one that was kind of like a rock star. He just had like a little cardboard guitar with him.
Damn, those promotions were so fun back then.
They used to do a lot of stuff back then. It's like
they sure did.
You get glass mugs and plush toys and like
one of the things I want to say one thing, not to interrupt you, but about back to this issue 2 comic that pissed me off. What's up, like with now? Okay, I know I dropped some stuff, and I don't mean to. I apologize for that. But they were putting that in a comic, but they would, instead of saying "God damn," they were saying "God's damn." I was like, okay, well, they're not doing it singular; they're doing it plural. But that's how they cuss in the world of New Adventures. They say "God's damn." Did you catch that a couple times?
I don't know. I was reading it just sort of like.
I just why cuss? Why do you have to have them cussing in there? Then He-Man calling Skeletor bastard.
Yeah, they did that a couple times in the book where it almost sounds forced.
Yeah, because I don't like the thought of hearing He-Man doing that, yelling, "You bastard!" It's like, what is this?
Yeah.
Huh? It's just that didn't fit He-Man's character, so that's it. But Papa Hud said, has Filmation He-Man appeared in that comic yet? Nope. But I'm sure when he does, they'll ham him up, silly him up, and probably kill him. They better not, because I'll be real pissed. But I'm pissed already. Spider-Rat said, by this time next year, all Netflix will be is dozens upon dozens of He-Man and She-Ra shows. Yeah, exactly. Could you picture that?
They would be like, hey, you guys wanted all this. And it's like, no,
now you're going to get it.
It's like, not that much. Thank you, though.
Right. And again, I can't remember when I was talking about pain, but Fedmon said Joe prefers his pain with handcuffs and more leather.
Do we need really? I don't want to think about any of that for the remainder of the night, so thank you.
Zentron said Horde Prime in the Netflix She-Ra cartoon is lame. I've seen an image of him, and it was just like, that's it?
Yeah.
It was like, that was exciting. So now I got to scroll down. You might have to take over, Nathan, because I probably missed 5 million things. Pole Position and Dungeons & Dragons didn't have Christmas specials. Zentron's. Thanks, Zentron, because I know Zentron is always working on doing he's reanimating and stuff and doing a lot of things for Masters Universe, Dungeons & Dragons, and She-Ra, so he would definitely know, so thanks for that.
Hashtag Netflix Motu Madness Mondays.
Did you just do this, or somebody in the chat room
put it there, but I threw the hashtag in front of it. Oh, speaking of which, we keep getting messages from Val every Monday or Tuesday after he listens to our show to pick out things, and he was like, Nathan, you asshole. That's how he said it too. He said, Nathan, you asshole. Motu Mondays is already a thing. We've been doing it for years. I'm like, I know that. It was just to piss Joe off, and it succeeded.
And it did. It worked. Because you're right. I know they do those Masters of the Universe Mondays, and then when you said it, it's just
Val said if I can convince you to go, he'll fly both of us out to PowerCon next year. So we'll see, and I appreciate that. I'm gonna hold you to that, Val. It's out here on the internet now. If you don't fly us out there, then
that's right.
Everyone will hold you to it. So
you're gonna be right here. It's live.
It's all on you now, Val.
It's a contract. That's a verbal contract, and he's bounded by
and
that. So.
We have to have a space to where we can do a panel and do a live version of Fans of Power.
I'd have to come in with a mask, though, or something. But, all right. Fedmon said Alf live show had several Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the live version of Alf. Yeah, but the cartoon, I couldn't remember it. I really honestly didn't remember if the cartoon of Alf ever did. Spider-Rat said, I want cartoons to have St. Patty's Day specials. Just sit around drinking and getting in soccer hooligan fights. I think we'd be different, I guess. Sportimus said, real Ghostbusters cartoon did not have a Christmas special.
Yeah, I haven't gone back and thought about every single episode of Real Ghostbusters, but yeah, I guess that is kind of weird because they would have to have some sort of Christmas thing because we know Ghostbusters 2 isn't a Christmas movie.
Just to get on to Tyler's nerves, like, that's a Christmas movie. Like to give him shit. JSP, hey man, he brought back a memory. He said Pac-Man had one. Christmas Comes to Pac-Land. I forgot, man, that's the other thing is when they would talk about the specials, like before they had the new Saturday morning lineup. I remember on Friday, it was like whether it was on Channel 11 or something. Surprisingly, they talked about all the cartoons on all the channels because you wouldn't think that NBC would be talking about CBS, but there was a special that would be for the coming fall season. They say, here's what's coming to all the stations. And I just remember when they were like talking about Alf and then Pac-Man, and it was just so cool because Pac-Man was such a rage. I freaked over Pac-Man and seen him in animated form.
That's nuts to think about. I think that was slightly before my time.
Oh yeah, unless you call me old, because the one thing that always annoyed me was looking at the Pac-Man. I always remember the arcade cabinet.
What was that like, Joe? Being a young, spry 21-year-old hanging out with the Pac-Man machines and Pac-Man fever and all that. What was that like?
I got a pocket full of quarters and I'm heading to the arcade.
See, no. See, here's the thing. Joe's worried about, like, if you show all the panels of the comic, is someone going to do anything? And yet here he is singing songs, and I'm doing.
I can't be infringed. I hope that wouldn't do it, but no. Yeah, the Pac-Man on the arcade cabinet drove me nuts because he was always drawn weird and these goofy feet. I was like, what the hell is that? And I think they even said the story that I don't know if they're originally going to call him Puck Man,
they were going to call him Puck Man, but it would have been too easy to vandalize it and make it say Fuck Man on every cabinet. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. So
hey man, let's get that arcade game.
I'm gonna do it. I should just Photoshop something. But I remember that the thing is when video games. I'm not super old. Just to let you know, I'm not super old. But I will say that when video games started popping up in the arcade, I mean, I used to love playing pinball like crazy. And I remember when the arcade machines came. Sometimes people would play a pinball game and they'd have like X amount of quarters in there, but then they'd go over to the video game machines, and I'd go up to the pinball, and there was always free games because they had all them quarters in there.
Because pinball was old news and the arcade was new. Damn, Joe, you are kind of old.
I'm not. I'm just saying that. Hey, think about it. Pinball machines were around a long time, even when they had like X-Men versus Street Fighter and some of the modern games.
You remember that transition period between pinball going to arcade and how there was a price difference and how like arcades were popular, and you're like, well, I'm just gonna snake over here to the pinball machine because it's cheaper. Don't need that newfangled technology. Just give me these hard balls that I can flop around everywhere.
I'm not old. That's not right. I just, I was young. I mean, I was super young when all that stuff was out. So I'm not.
Sure.
So, let's see. Von Ratlip said maybe the Kevin Smith version is going to be for the fans, and the other version is going to be for new She-Ra fans. Like I said, it's just a younger generation. I mean, a younger audience.
I feel like that's the likely scenario with this.
Probably. All right, let me see. JSP said he corrected Sportimus on Real Ghostbusters. What did I miss about that?
Maybe it did. I don't know. I didn't see. We were too busy talking about how old you are and all that stuff. Fedmon says, Joe.
Oh wait. Oh, JSP. Well, I was gonna say real quick. JSP said actually Sportimus they did have a cartoon special. I was
thinking that they did.
Okay. They captured the 3 ghosts from A Christmas Carol. Oh, isn't that cool? All right, I didn't know that. Okay. Go ahead, I'll let you take over now from the chat, because I know I missed a lot.
Fedmon, Joe, how many Hot Topic girls at Powergon would it take to get you to lose the mask? I don't think there's enough Hot Topic girls in the country.
Do you imagine, Joe, like, here we go, the Pop Radio, let's do this. Like, see, just going from the panel. Could you hear that all set up from the panel? One stands up, asks that question, rip that fucking mask off, and like, see you guys. Son of a bitch, we had Joe right here.
You know,
he was right there.
But it would also be funny, too, if we're sitting there doing the live show, and it's like, well, thanks for having us. And then I get up and walk away, and then Joe stands up. Actually, Joe doesn't stand up yet. You just see, like, one girl pop up from under the table. Then another girl pop up from under the table. Then another girl pop up from under the table.
Like a Police Academy moment, huh? Like Police Academy.
Yeah, and then it's just like, have a powerful day. And then, you know.
And it's over.
That's quick. Why this show isn't for kids anymore.
That'd be the quickest thing to have that giant podcast over there at the PowerCon panel, and we're just out like that. But I'll let you get back.
They'll be like, is it me, or does it just sound like he's talking faster than usual? And you're just sitting there like, yeah.
And I just slammed the table. All of a sudden,
and I'm just sitting there
like
what's going on?
Like, it was a great podcast. Oh, God.
Sporterman says, what do you want to see or have announced at the next PowerCon?
Well, I'm hoping at least at this, at the next PowerCon, maybe by that time, because I don't know how long it'll take for them to actually talk about the Netflix, Kevin Smith Masters of the Universe Revelations. It'd be nice, but definitely seen some more figures for the other lines. I mean, yes, I am excited about the Origins line. It'd be nice to see even more figures, but it'd be cool if maybe they could finally show maybe if they'd start hitting more classics. But I know that they were taking a break with that for a while, but it'd be a cool surprise, if they actually did show some, finally new classic size figures, because not everybody's going to be aboard for Origins. I mean, I am, but you got to try to please all fans. It would be cool to see. I
think it would be cool to see some Tappers of the Universe figures get announced.
Is this where we end the show now? Is like, that's it? Have a powerful day. We've been done that.
If that's what you want to do, go ahead and wrap it up, Joe.
Okay, no, guys, man, it was awesome having you guys here. Jeez, I'm starting to lose my voice right now. But again, happy Hanukkah to people who celebrate Hanukkah, because that just started today, or tonight, I believe, Hanukkah. And we got Christmas and Kwanzaa coming up, so Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa for people coming up. And yeah, again, I thank you for joining us in the chat room. It was a blast. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and ring the bell so you can always get notified when we go live. And until next time, have a powerful day.
It was stated that the Rockers had never won a WWF Tag Team Championship, when in fact they did. What team did they defeat? What happened during the match that caused it not to make air?
Didn't make the air. Well, shoot, at that time, the only team I could really think about would have been Demolition that they could have fought and beat, but I didn't know anything about this. So I'll first say Demolition, but I have no clue, and I'd be curious to hear what you're talking about.
They defeated the Hart Foundation, and it was recorded, but wasn't used because the top rope broke. And it was ultimately decided that this didn't look good for the show and everything, and they took it away, and they dropped the titles back to the... Actually, I don't even think they dropped the titles back to the Hart Foundation. They're just like, yeah, that never happened.
No kidding. Well, I guess things you wouldn't know back then because there was no internet, so...
Yeah, there we go.
I never heard that. I mean, how did you... I mean, it's just weird. Was there ever any maybe fan footage with a VHS camcorder?
Nope. As far as I know, the only thing of it that exists that people have seen is just a photo of the referee holding their arms up with the tag belts in their hands.
Oh, things you find out,
Again,
right, and a bunch of people knew that.
Spider Rat right there in the chat to tell you what.
And JSP, they both do it, so.
There we go.
Okay.
Interesting tidbit. See you guys next time.
Bye. Yep.